years and years. And it's been that trucking industry isn't what it used to be. Trucking is not worth it anymore. We made more money back then. We don't make hardly nothing now. It was so much better back then. It was so much better back then. Listen. And I've been hearing this since I've been driving. And as my father tells me, he's been hearing it when he started driving. It's just and if you go to somebody else's career, they're probably hearing that about their career. Most likely. It was always better at another time but the present. I'm gonna be honest. At this point, it just sounds like a loser's excuse. And the one thing is, they're probably right. Them being right does not make them, no less wrong about the perspective. Because, let's say you are right. They made more money back then. There was less rules back then. That's true. But one thing that's always going to happen, the only thing that never changed is the fact that things are going to change. That's the only thing that doesn't change. Period. You expecting them to change, it says a lot about the thought process. Because give us some examples of industries that have not changed. That's why I say it's a loser's thought process. Is trucking still worth it? I mean, listen, man. A lot of people have said they're getting out of something and end up coming back. That I know, just from the group of people that I know personally. A lot of people have said that. And let me tell you, it ain't that easy. Oh man, I drove to a rainstorm. It ain't that easy, they find out. Because the job market ain't as pretty as they thinking it's gonna be when they get out of the truck. Yeah, things change. They really do, man. It is what it is, but at the end of the day, there's nothing you can do to stop the industry from evolving. When someone doesn't want something to change, they don't want it to grow, and the industry is going to grow, bro. It's gonna if they come up with better technologies, they're gonna use those technologies. It is what it is. They're doing it to make them money. Well, technically, that's what they're supposed to do. It's their business. It's their. What do you want them to do? Not make money? That's the one thing that's constant across the board in the game, is everybody wants to make money. I just feel like it's a loser's mentality to just sit around and at every truck stop, every fuel desk, every terminal, every forum, every chat room, every video comments, and just say that the game isn't how it's supposed to be. It's duh. The game isn't how it was. Duh. You're not 5 years old anymore either, are you? Duh. And if it was so much of a windfall of money before, did you set yourself up? What did you do with those monies 20 years ago? Those are the hard questions. What did you do with the money? Well, what do you mean? You saying you're all making $6-7 a week, no rules, running flatback. So what did you do with the money? That's the question you need. They need to be explaining to you. You made all this money back in the day. What did you do with it? You didn't do nothing with it that that you were supposed to, did you? Whose fault is that? That's what I'm saying, man. Come on, bro. You know, if you were making all that kind of money, 5, 6, 7 grand a week, you was able to cheat the books, get all this extra capital. So, okay, you got all this extra capital. Well, you probably went and bought a house, bought a pickup truck, paid them off, right? Then what? Because a paid off house, a retirement does not make. A paid off pickup truck, a retirement does not make. So then when you say, well, shoot, I ain't got my bills paid off, I can just cruise and keep making the same money, and the industry changes on you. You invested in what you invested in. It's just that what you invested in, whether that been cars, failed marriages, whoring up and down the highway, a rack of kids, whatever you invested in does not give you a return. It doesn't give you a return, bro. That's a decision that you made. It is, to me, it is not an industry's fault that you poorly managed all of that windfall. And really, 80s, 70s, 80s, 90s, that's what it looks like happened. You know, I'm not saying that for everybody, because some people did what they were supposed to. But the complainers, yeah, you're mad at yourself. And I don't like when they get on people's pages and start making them feel bad about their new love for trucking and, oh, well, you know, it ain't nothing like it used to be. If you think this is money, you don't. Look, bro, don't nobody care about all that. That man happy with the money that the industry provides now. He happy with the money the industry provides now. You had your run. You blew the money. And that's what it is. But don't tell us that trucking isn't worth it anymore. Don't tell us that, because it's still getting us out of the pinch. Well, it ain't perfect. Nothing is perfect. All they care about is money. Every industry cares about money. Well, they're modernizing. Every industry is modernized. Do you see any taxis? Besides New York, Philly, and the places where it's like a tradition, but in a regular America, do you see taxis? No. And a person may go into that and say, well, yeah, man, they ruined the taxi industry. Listen, bro, I'm old enough to used to use taxis. The taxis, they were charging way more than Uber's charging. They took forever to show up. It's way more convenient to use ride sharing now, Lyft, Uber, and don't you try to act like it isn't. And if you do say it isn't, you're probably too young to have really used taxis. That's a fact, though. One thing that will never change is that change is coming. And that's just a fact. You got a couple options. You can diversify, purchase the right stuff, stop purchasing personal stuff for whatever reason, just nothing stuff. You know, there's things you can do to insulate yourself from that, at least a little bit. And to me, it just gets tiring, man. Like, every post, bro. Tell me y'all ain't seen it. Comment at the bottom if you've seen it. It ain't worth it no more. You know, we used to make this much back in the day. Ain't no money in the industry. I ain't making no money. You just hear that all day. Listen. I have bad weeks, man. But I can't contribute it to how it was back then because I wasn't around back then. And I get it. They probably did suck all the money out of it. They probably did. I'm not going to say they didn't, but at the same time, bro, if you're telling me you're from that windfall of money, where did you put the money? That's the question that everybody needs. That's what you need to ask these people. Oh, back in my day, man, years making money. Okay, how many years you have in that? 10? You had 10 years in that windfall, and what did you do with the money? That's the question. You get complacent, live on the money? Couple different relationships, get the money 50% split up in marriages. Did you do that? Houses that don't give you no return, cars that depreciate value. What did you do with the money for you to come back to the modern playing field where new people are finding a love for trucking and try to plant seeds of doubt to the point where you're just tearing people down? Trucking ain't what it used to be, trucking ain't what it used to be, trucking ain't what it used to be. That's the question you gotta ask some of these people, dog. Did you diversify? Did you get into other stuff? Did you train yourself to do other things? Any person who's that secure in what they do will meet an end. That's just a fact of life. You know what I'm saying? And like I say, most people complain when it's their industry, but they don't say nothing when another industry is being gutted and it's convenient to them. Shall we go down the list? Blacksmiths were the thing back in the day. Have you seen a blacksmith at your shopping center? Tailors were bigger than they are now. Now they're only for the rich. You think dry cleaners didn't feel any pain from laundromats? There was actual Candymans. Actual Candymen. They had an all-white thing on with a white hat. Had a little walkable little thing they could open up and sell candy, and they'll walk around and sell candy. That was their thing to do. Have you seen them since vending machines came out? Did you weep for the candy man? Before the elevator stuff was simplified, did you weep for the person who lost that job as the elevator conductor? Nah, you didn't weep for them at all. Did you weep for the personal assistants when Siri came out? Because that's who that's going after, Bixby. Who do you think they're going after? Personal assistants. The tax lady that has their tax business. Are you weeping for them when you use TurboTaxes? That's way more convenient. But you just wiped out a whole sector of people making money. You didn't care then. And you're a trucker, so I know you use TurboTax. Unless you're owner out, but you got an actual CPA. You weep for them? Everybody's quiet. Nobody crying for the candy man at all. 1 million jobs, bro. All the auto workers for the robots came. There was a guy in the auto industry when they used to say, oh, they're going to have robots to do this. He said in 1994, oh, it would take a long time for them to ever do that stuff. And maybe he was right, but when I was getting out of high school around 02, 03, and I witnessed all the people that Ford laid off, part 2, sending jobs other places, and part 2, automating. It took umpteen amount of men, which means a number I don't really know, but it took umpteen amount of men to build a Ford Expedition or something like it, comparable to the back then. How many men you think it takes now to build a car? I guarantee if you researched it, that is more efficient. And in this understanding, efficient means less people. That's all it means, less people. A auto factory is probably 300 times more efficient than it was when it was in its conception. That some people would call progress, the other person would call they're just ripping off the working man. You call it whatever you want to call it, but it still happened. You know, what it is a matter of perspective. So and did you stop buying cars? You sit here, no, that's so wrong, but you still bought a car. These internet streaming sites are tearing the cable business down. Cable's almost out of here, man. You don't say anything. This is cheaper and more convenient, and I can fast forward and record my shows and all. I can do all that stuff with the app. I don't gotta wait for commercials. So to ad people out of a job. Now ad people are just little tech people that can throw ads to whatever pops up. Show admin, you think that's actually a fact of life anymore? You think they actually live like that now? No. Ad people is probably some tech genius that is somehow tracking who's watching and what ad to show them. Come on, man. That's why a lot of it gets hypocritical. So on one hand, you're enjoying the fruits of progress, but when it starts to affect you and the way that you make money, then you bellyache, bro. You think the common person who's sitting at home that don't even know how to drive their personal car gives a hoot and nanny about an automated truck bringing their stuff to the DC. No, they do not. Especially if they push it as it's going to be cheaper. No, it does not. All they care about is their Amazon or Walmart or Best Buy price going down. And if they have to cash in your job to do it, they will. That is not, it's progress. It is what it is. I mean, I don't want to call it progress, but it is the way of things. It is the way of things. So coming back on yourself, it ain't worth it. Well, if it ain't worth it to do this, what is it worth it to do? Oh, I get into robotics and all this other stuff. Yeah, that's cool for your kid to get into, but you 6 years in the trucking, you gonna get out, be able to sustain all that personal debt, which I told you not to get, but you got anyway. You're gonna be able to sustain that personal debt just to re-educate yourself to go back into the job market? You think you're gonna be able to do that and save up for retirement? These are real questions. Real questions, real deal Holyfield questions. Decision you gonna have to make, man. Do you want to go buy that stupid car and that stupid personal house, or do you want to diversify your money into something that generates cash flow? That's the thought process you need to be thinking of. You don't need to be worrying about if they're going to automate trucks. You need to be thinking about when they're going to automate trucks. You don't need to be coming in and telling people that it was so great in the golden days. Yeah, things tend to look more rosy and romantic in reflection and recollection. I'm just sick of seeing it, man.